packed with the breath of
Tzvi Cheshin told me once, his brother, Shlomo Cheshin, he had to do with the Vado Ilomi. It was a big macher there. And once they were sitting in one of the asifes, which was Michael Dorfman, and the situation was they were talking about what to give people to eat in Uman when they had the big dining rooms, the tents.
Oh yeah.
So they were Mechel and all the big tzaddikim were talking about if to give yes tchina, not to give tchina. That was the situation before Shiner. And then Shlomo said, she told me his brother, he stood up and he said, I'm telling you that there's going to come a day, you're going to be 3,000 people in Uman in Rosh Hashanah.
3,000.
Yeah, people said they're crazy.
3,000. That was 10 times 10.
Yeah, more. So, Bezat Hashem.
Yeah.
Oh, check for the video you sent.
What?
Check for the video you sent.
That's actually video?
Yeah, nice.
Oh, yeah.
My son
Show
asked.
myself for 2 seconds.
Yeah?
I'll show you where it is.
Oh. Once I was walking with my son, and he asked me, we saw a chassid walking somewhere. So I said, what chassid is he? So I told him, you know what? I told him all the time that everybody is blessed of chassidim. So he says, yeah, but what does he think he is?
What is he
What does
What's
he
he
think?
thinking?
Which chassid he thinks he is?
Oh, I see.
One day it's going to be misgaled that everything went to the way. On kol panim,
You have to... Ready?
kol besado.
Okay.
Now we are going towards Chanukah. With Hashem, a few weeks, and we'll be lighting the candles and lighting our souls. The Chasem writes, the Bishboch had Rachmanis and Klal Yisrael. He said the long winter, the dark winter, so he gave us in the middle of the winter Chanukah and Purim to light the winter, to make it warmer. And from one side, light is the thing that we want the most. It's very obvious. These days, everybody's just looking to get some light. People are going all around. Wherever you go, people just are looking at all, a little bit light, to light their lives, situation. And the thing is, a lot of people, they wait, they want the light to come, Hashem's going to send the light. We don't want to do anything. Or because we have a mistake, people have a mistake in emunah, and they think that emunah means Baruch Hu is going to do everything. We're not going to do anything, we're going to get the light. Some people are in a situation of Yerush. He can't do anything, only he can do. So, I want to start with a story, a very nice story, that I saw 2.5 weeks ago. And you can learn a lot out of this story. I went with a friend to Pan Kanevsky, a good friend of mine. If someone knows, maybe the women, Rabbi Neustadt, very famous. She gives out shirim. So her son is a good friend of mine, a good Talmid Chacham. I went to go to Pan Kanevsky. So they told us he can't see us. He was sick that day. But if you want, in the way back from my river, you can speak to him, the Gabbai said. So we're waiting to see him. And he almost, he came very late. It's not typical, he comes just on time. And they were waiting, 20 minutes for him. So he's going to come, he's not going to come. And then he came. And after Mariv, they rushed him home. But the Gabbai told Reb Chaim, he said, he called us to come. And he said, here is the son-in-law of the Yagidis, and he wants to talk to you. So Chaim stopped. What do you want? He asked him, and he gave us an answer, and we went on. So I asked him, what do you mean, son-in-law of Yagidis? I know that your father-in-law is called Rosenberg. So he told me that's an interesting story. Yagidis in Yiddish means blueberries. He said, like 25 years ago, Reb Chaim suddenly told one of his Talmidim that he wants to get blueberries, fresh ones. Okay. He was looking here in Israel. You can't get them, only from cans. So he asked someone, Kitzel, came out that in Switzerland you can get them. The guy from Switzerland, his father-in-law, he heard that Reb Chaim is looking for fresh blueberries. So he told his son-in-law, go buy a big freezer. And he brought a lot of fresh blueberries, and he sent them here. And once a week, he used to go to Reb Chaim to give him a big pack of blueberries. Years, he used to go once a week, 2 weeks to Reb Chaim to give blueberries. I used to pay. He didn't want to get the presents. One day, it was a Shas HaKodesh, Reb Chaim was maybe Purim or something, he came. Then he asked him, why does the Rav insist he wants to get once a week a big pack of blueberries? So he told him that, he wakes up very early. He learns a few hours before Shacharis. Then most of the day he's up and he learns. And he said that when it comes around 7, 8 at night, he feels very tired. His eyes are very tired. And someone told them that if you eat blueberries, it helps you to keep awake. How did they find it? Some pilot once ate out blueberries and he was able to fly later than all his friends. So Reb Chaim wants to try. And he ate it a few days. And he felt that he can learn, he said, until 11, 12 without any problem.
After blueberry.
Yeah, after he eats blueberries. So that's the reason he insists, like 20 years, to get once a week a big pack of blueberries and eat them every day. And the last year he stopped because he has problems with the sugar, so he couldn't eat it anymore. But I thought to myself, let's take 25 years ago. Reb Chaim was 62, 63, and he knew already then the whole Torah by heart, everything. So if it was me, Baruch Hashem, I'm 60, 62, I know everything by heart. So what do you care if you become tired at 8 o'clock? You start learning at 3 o'clock in the morning. You learn the whole day straight. You see people for an hour or two maybe, but the whole day you sit and learn, and you write, and you say shiurim. So what do you care? Maybe at 8 o'clock you'll be tired. So give a break. See, if you want the light, you have to do something. You don't give up. Whatever you can use for Aliyah, you use. If you see in the newspaper someone tells you that blueberries is good, it gives strength to your eyes, so you don't hesitate and you try to get the blueberries. Yeah, they say that 100 years ago you couldn't find such a big Talmid Chacham like Reb Chaim and a tzaddik. Yeah, you see someone that wrote Sfarim, you can see on the whole, every part of the Torah. He goes once a year, every Pesach he does a Siyum. Shas Bavli, Yerushalmi, 2, Rambam, Shulchan Aruch, Safo, Sifri, Mechilta, once a year. So what do you care if 8 o'clock you become tired? But you see, someone that wants a real Aliyah, he doesn't give himself a break, and he tries everything just in order to go higher and higher. Yeah, the Rebbe said, Adler, the Rebbe said that Lomi Boy, that every dibur I said is full of ischachos, that even I didn't even hevel peh. How do you say hevel peh like this? Hevel peh sheyotza mipi. No, the air that comes out of his mouth never came out without the chashis. Every
breath.
What?
every breath.
Yeah.
Every breath was full of ischachos. The Rebbe. He said, Lomi boya, not, that's true that every dibur he said, that's pashut, was full of ischachos. But not only his diburim, even his breath was full of ischachos. Yeah?
Blueberry. Is that about
No, the Rebbe.
Yeah.
The Rebbe.
Rebbe, the Rebbe?
Yeah, now we go back to the Rebbe.
Yeah.
Everything is full of ischachos. We can never, we can't lie back and say, Baruch Hashem, I did this avoid, I had this madrega, Baruch Hashem. It's good for ischachos, Baruch Hashem. Yeah, I'm a Jew, I'm zoche, a lot of things. But never, you can never lean back and say, Baruch Hashem, I did my thing. Yeah. And even if it's something that looks funny, if it gives you koyach or ability for avodas Hashem, so you try whatever you can do just to get it. Because everything, even though you hold in a tremendous madrega, you didn't even start. Yeah, like the Rebbe said a few times, I didn't even start. And he wasn't joking. When he said he didn't start, he was meaning that klape, what you can reach, we didn't even start. Another story that he told me that a few years ago he went to daven Reb Chaim, and Reb Chaim davens at Netz. There are two minyanim. His shul next to his house is called Lederman, famous shul. His father used to daven there. He davens there. And there are two minyanim. There's a minyan of Netz, and there's a minyan of 6 o'clock. So he davens Netz. Once he went there, and it came out that the Netz also was at 6 o'clock. So a few people from the Netz minyan decided they're going to go daven. A few people from the 6 o'clock minyan, they decided they're going to go daven in the Netz minyan because they want to daven with the Rav. So there was a machlokes in shul. There was an argument of what's koydem, the thing of davening in the same place, minyan kavua, or davening with the tzaddik. So, nach davening, Chaim was climbing the steps back home, and someone came over to him and he said, "Listen, Rebbe, this is the situation. This was the story." So he said like this: Chasidim sagen, Adler inyan to daven mit tzaddik, and he said like in a zizzle way. Yeah, Chasidim sagen, like Chasidim have an inyan. So Chaim had this big smile on his face. So the guy was asking, "Why do you smile? Why do you laugh?" So he said, "Chasidim sagen, it's a Chazam Sofer." So now the guy was surprised. He said, "Chazam Sofer? Probably in the drushes." He says, "No." "On the Torah?" "No." "On the Shulchan Aruch?" He come into the house. He invites him. He goes to his closet. He takes us from the shelf. He takes out the Chazam Sofer. In the Shulchan Aruch, he opens it. He sees Kuf Vav. And there the Chazam Sofer explains why did Chana daven next to Eli. Chana, when she davened to have the boy, she was standing mamish next to Eli HaKohen. Says the Chazam Sofer because it's a Segula ve'inyan niflo yispal etzel HaTzadik. So he told him it's not Chasidim say. So Chazam Sofer that pasuk la'alocha. It's a goy say inyan to daven, to stand when you daven next to the tzaddik. So Chazam Sofer probably meant kipshuta, you have to stand in the adamas of tzaddik. But we know that to stand next to the tzaddik is not only when you stand next to the tzaddik, it's also when you pull the tzaddik to stand and you stand next to him. It doesn't mean that you have to go stand next to mamish. Sure, it's to stand next to the tzion. But when we daven next to the tzaddik, it means when we stand next to the tzaddik, when we want to be next to him, we want him to be next to us, we become his eitzes, we go in his ways, so we know that he is between us. You know, we know Reb Nosson had a minyan in the early years. Next, he had a minyan with very, very simple people. And the Rebbe showed him a few times, a few giluyim, that what is the tremendous chashivas of the minyan, that they daven next to the, with mamash simple people. The Rebbe said, a few Lashonis once he even wrote him a note, Reb Nosson, Aminyan shelachem boikei rikim. It's going through heaven. So this is the chashivas of davening next to the tzaddik. Not only, like we say, not only to go to Uman or something, just when someone stands to daven next to the tzaddik, that he has a tzaddik next to his eyes, and he thinks about it, and he learns his teachings, and his mekayim his etzes. This is also, I think so, davening next to the tzaddik. Going back to Chanukah. Chanukah is one of the Moyadim that was Zoiche to have the most tremendous amount of books written about Chanukah. Chanukah and Purim, mamish, hundreds of books. You can go every year at the shuls now. They sell the books in the shuls. You can't even go into the shul. It's full of tables with books, and you can see every year before Chanukah, mamish every year, hundreds of new books. Halacha, Agodah, Droshes, Minogim. And the Rambam says in the end of Itkus Chanukah, Mitzvah Snei Chanukah, Chaviva Yad Moed. This is the Lashon of the Rambam. Mitzvah Chaviva Ad Moed. So what's the big Chavivas of the Nei Chanukah? I'm going to tell a story I heard a few weeks ago from a good friend. Maybe someone knows the story. If you know, just stop me. We're going to find something else. My English is not so good, as you can tell, so you're going to have to be mashlim with the imagination. There was in an old age home in America. אתה מכיר את הסיפור הזה? זה נראה ככה. Yeah.
I'm sure not going to stop you.
Huh?
I'm definitely not going to stop you.
Oh, that's okay. I told a friend of mine yesterday he wanted to come with me to the yeshiva where I teach, to come from Rabbi Malkus. So I asked him, "Do you prepare a story?" He says yes. So I said, "Okay, prepare another one because the first one they're gonna know." So Uncle Ponim in that old age home was very expensive, and they used to sleep two in a room, two people in a room. There was a guy, his name was Mr. Lefkowitz. He used to sleep in the room, and he was a wealthy guy, and he wanted his room for himself. He didn't want partners, and he also, because he wanted his quiet, and also he was an artist, so all the room was full of his paintings and his stuff, and he used to work at day and at night. He needed his own territory. One day, someone knocks on his door. It's one of the workers, and he said, "Listen, there's a guy that wants to move into the place, and we don't have any room available now. Someone is leaving in a few weeks. So we wanted to ask you if you mind to accept the guy into your room just for a few weeks, because if he's going to leave, we're going to miss a client for a mitzvah for a few years. So we are willing to give you 3 months for free if you're going to give him 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe to sleep in your room." So the guy says, "Listen, I don't want anyone. It bothers me. I'm paying because I want my privacy. I want my territory." But b'chol they were begging him. Then in the end, he decided he's gonna give a positive answer and he's gonna accept the guy. So he's waiting for the guy to come in and he cleans the room a bit. He's in a wheelchair. He tries to move his paintings and his stuff. And he's waiting the guy to have some across the table. He's gonna come in, maybe he's gonna give him some flowers, maybe a cake. Thank you so much. You're willing to take me to your room. Comes the guy, comes into the room. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Leave me alone. I don't want to speak to you. Shigana. Leave me alone. Such a Shalom Aleichem, such a Kabbalah Spanim. So he tries again, maybe Shalom Aleichem. I'm Mr. Lefkowitz, who are you? Ros Mechub. Leave me alone. Mr. Meshiga. I don't want to speak to you. He turns around to the wall. He doesn't want to see him, doesn't want to talk to him. So the guy calls and he says, listen, take him out. I don't want to see him. I'm doing such a big effort, such a avodas hamidus, and he's coming to the room and cursing me and ignoring me. So they're trying to convince him, maybe a few minutes, maybe wait. Okay, so at the end comes the night, and he tries to tell him, good night, Mr. Cohen. Again, the whole sin from the beginning. Leave me alone. I don't want to see you. I don't want to speak to you. I don't want to hear you. At the end, he tells him, listen, I'm gonna go on begging you until you listen to me. So listen, if you're here already, let's give me a chance. He says, just tell me why are you so angry? So the guy says, look at me, what do you see? I say, you're not maybe the most gorgeous man in the world, but see a man, regular man, a beard, glasses, sunglasses. He takes off the sunglasses, says, what do you see now? Eyes. Says, a few months ago, I lost my eyes. I can't see. And my children just threw me out of the house. I have no Chanukah to take care of me, no patience. So from a successful man and everything, I became Shavakli. And now my children put me here. Credit card, and they paid and they went. So he says, Mr. Lefkowitz says, okay. He says, let me help you. I don't want to help, I don't want anything. I just want to stay in my room. So he thinks he was a very friendly guy, and the situation was he felt very, very bad for him. So he said, listen, let's try once. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna roll together with you. We're gonna roll in our wheelchairs to the window, and I'm gonna be your eyes. I'm gonna describe to you what we see in the window. I'm gonna tell you everything. Such a nice sunrise, and the street, and what's going out. I'm gonna tell you everything. I'm gonna describe. If you like it, good. If you don't like it, I'm gonna leave you. I'm not gonna try talking to you again. I'm gonna give you your quiet you're so waiting for. The guy's making the cheshbon. Maybe it's kedai to hear him 1 hour and then he's gonna leave me alone. He says, okay, Besada, tomorrow morning. Wake me up. We're gonna do as you say. The whole night, Mr. Lefkowitz is turning around in bed. He's so excited. He asks Hashem that he's gonna give him the right words, because he feels so bad for the guy that lost his life. In the morning, he wakes up very early, and then he waits 6:45. He takes Mr. Lefkowitz, the other guy, and he takes him to the window, Then he starts to describe him. You see the sun is climbing behind the buildings, and we have such a building, and the other building, and in the east you can see a new community, someone is building a new community, and then you can see the yellow bus stopping, the driver is opening the window, the door, children are climbing, and here is a lady walking with a dog, and he gives them the whole street for an hour. And Mama, she is telling him, and then he starts asking me questions: what kind of dog, and how many children, and what did they wear, and you see cars, what cars, etc., etc. Then after an hour and a half, they go together to the dining room to eat, and they don't talk anymore. Yeah, he says, remember, you promised me you're going to leave me alone after this morning. I don't want to hear anyone, I don't want to see anyone, leave me alone. He's very disappointed, but he gave his word. What can he do? At night before they go to sleep, he says, Mr. Lefkovitz, the way you tell the story is not so boring. Maybe we're going to go maybe we can do it again tomorrow morning. He's so happy, Baruch Hashem. His prayers was answered. And in the morning, he wake up and he sees that Mr. Cohen is already waking in his bed, also waiting for the big moment. 6:45, they roll again, takes them to the window, and they see the whole thing, and then it goes another day, and slowly he learns to know mamish the whole street. He knows what car is going to come what time, and the bus of the children, and the lady with the dog, and he knows he can see before. He knows that in 7 o'clock this car is coming, 7:15 the milkman is coming, the mailman, and he feels so thrilled that he can see the world even without his eyes. Mr. Lefkovitz is his mom's eyes. And then they start going together out of the room, and he shows them the place, and he describes them how it looks, and the elevators, and the rooms, and the dining room, and everything. And they became best friends. And Imam turns to be his eyes, 24/7. Everything he needs, everything he wants to know, just he asks Mr. Lefkovitz, and he helps him. The years pass by, and 2 years later, he wakes up one morning, and he's waiting. Then he feels it's 6:45. Mr. Lefkovitz doesn't answer. Mr. Lefkovitz, no answer. Tries again. So then he presses the button, and one of the staff comes fast. Yeah, he says, "Where's Mr. Lefkovitz?" "Oh, we didn't want to wake you up. In the middle of the night, he felt very bad, got a heart attack, and we took him away to the hospital." He starts crying, saying to him, and a few hours later, they tell him that he passed away. Mr. Lefkovitz. So he feels really, really bad. He starts crying. As Rahmanis on Mr. Lefkovitz, on himself. When's going to be the Levaya? When's going to be tomorrow? They're waiting for one of his children. He goes to sleep. He can't fall asleep. And then, in the morning, he rings the bell again. And the nurse comes in. "What do you need?" So he says, "Please, I just wanted to describing what's going in the street. I want to know if the lady with the dog came, if the bus of the children is standing there, if the mailman is there." So she said, "Okay, how do you want me to tell you what's going in the street?" So roll me to the window at the end of the room, and just tell me, what do you see? So she says, what do you mean? Just please take me to the window where I used to sit every morning for a few years, and just tell me what's going out, what's doing there. How can I take you to the window? Okay, so they're talking. He is asking, and she doesn't understand what he wants. Then she tells him, listen, Mr. Cohen, I don't know what you want. There's no window in the room. The room has no window. Then he understood that for a few years his roommate used to take a few hours just telling him stories, making up stories, pretending he's being his eyes, just to make him happy, to give back meaning to his life. And then he insisted they're gonna take him to his levaya, and he asked, he wants to say a few words. And then he said that some people use their eyes to see, and some people can see through their heart. They can see through the wall. Nothing's going to stop them of seeing. They can see for the other through their heart. So the story is a very nice story, but I think this is the deep meaning of Chanukah. Everyone is in Golus, and where people think Golus is like we learned in the kindergarten, a few goyim hitting us with the sticks, but the Rebbe teaches us, Reb Nosson, that the worst Golus is the Golus Hadas. Yeah. And everyone has his own Golus Hadas. He goes through his manias, his choshech, the astoris, the darkness, and Kadosh Baruch Hu has achmanas in us, and He wants to give us light, to see through the darkness. It says that the makas choshech in Mitzrayim, it says the choshech was thick like a coin. This is what the Chazan said. So it says in the Sfarim Kedushim that it means, that why is the mashal like a coin? Because the thing that gives the most choshech is the money. Tavis moment that the Rebbe says that all the avodah zorah is truvus and tavis moment. So this is one of the galuyos that people are running all their life after the money. But there are so many other kind of galus. And Kadosh Baruch Hu wants to give us the ability to see through the walls. Not only when there's a window, even places that have no window, and there's a thick wall of a Torah. Kadosh Baruch Hu wants us to have the ability to see that even there, Kadosh Baruch Hu is standing. The Rebbe says, "Ma'yesh lecha lifchod, she'Kadosh Baruch Hu itcho imcho ve'etzlecha." Kadosh Baruch Hu is standing next to us, on top of us, in front of us, behind us, everywhere He's standing. But all we need to see Him is just a little bit light. Because it says, "Me'at min ha'or, doich harbe min ha'choshech." If we have a little bit of light, you can see that the light of the choshech is not so bad. And there are a lot of ways to go out of the choshech. But when we go mamish in dark, and we have no light, so the feeling that we're going in darkness is so bad that people can fall into Yeush, into Atzvis, and all different kinds of astoris. And this is the Golus. This is the real Golus. People can survive. People can fight all different kinds of struggles. But when people face the feeling that they're alone, no one is there for them, so they can't do anything. If just someone knows, Shlomo says, I'm next to you, don't worry. I'm with you, I'm going with you. Gam ki if I get salmovis, even if I go and get salmovis, lo yirava. Why? Ki ata imadi. If I remember that Baruch Hu is next to me, so I have no fear. But how can I remember? How can I be zoiche to remember all the time Baruch Hu is next to me? This is what the light means. When I see the light of Hashem, so I feel and I know that whatever I get, whatever, even if it's very hard, it's very tough, but Baruch Hu is there and He is behind me and He is pushing me. This is the thing of Chanukah. The Divrei Chaim, Tzvi Rebbe, once he lost his son, and they buried him early in the morning, the vayas in the morning, and then he went to daven Shachris, and he put on his talis, and he started preparing to daven. So someone went over to him and he said, Rebbe, how can you daven when you just came back from the levaya of your son? So Tzvi Rebbe said, it's a big madrega, but this is what he said. He said someone goes in the street and suddenly he feels someone smacking on his back. So he turns around and he wants to take care of him. But then he sees a good friend he didn't see for a few years. So he starts hugging him and kissing him. Says, I got a big punch on my back. When I turned back and I saw Baruch Hu was standing there. So what do you want me to do? So Baruch Hu is not going to be menaseh, chas v'shalom, anyone in such sincerity. But we see that the thing is, if someone knows, like David HaMelech says, Gam ki erech b'getz al-movet, shivtecha mishantecha ima nachamoni. If I know, shivtecha is a shot.
Rod, stick.
Shot, the thing that you hit the
Rod.
horses. Right. So it's shivtecha mishantecha ima nachamoni. How can you say it's going to be a nechama? But because I know that the one that hits me is the Kodesh Baruch Hu, this is Him that He stands before.
He cares about me.
Yeah. So He is the one that gives me the nisyonis. So Baruch Hashem gives me koyach to stand in the nisyonis. But the thing is just a little bit light. Just a tiny light shows me, gives me to see the real emes, the real metzius. This is the light of Chanukah. Baruch Hu had rachmanis on us in the middle of the such a dark winter. Winter is a mashal of the Golus. Someone said once a mashal of Chanukah, like these how do you call these houses next to the beach, with the light.
Lighthouse.
I know.
This is Chanukah. That Baruch Hu gives us lights. Here I am, and here it's dangerous. Here's good to come. Here's good to go. And just follow me. Follow the light, and come back. I'm waiting for you. They say Ner is Rosh Hashanah, Rabbi Nachman. Uman is also Rosh Hashanah. Ner mitzvah v'torah. The opposite. Ner mitzvah v'torah is Uman. Here the Rebbe stands, mamish. It's not even a mashal, it's a metzias. The Rebbe stands like a lighthouse. And even when it's very difficult, even strong waves, and the night is very dark, but there's a light, and you go closer to Him, you get more light. You go even closer to Him, you get more light. I was speaking now to a friend of mine before. He lives here in the Shemesh. He has an organization. It's called Ma'azanim. He helps families that went into trouble, with financial trouble. He doesn't help them with giving the money. He gives them the workshops how to
Man. Managed
how to manage better. Yeah, and he wanted me to write him a book. I write, so he told me a few stories here without names, like from families that 10 children that live on 3,000 shekels. And the other hand, families, he told me just a funny thing about some family that they have only one child, like they all got married, and they make together 60,000 shekels clean, and they cry that they can't finish the month, and they have nothing to cut down. They swear they have nothing to, and mamas, they live in the kids are sad stories, funny stories, but he told me something very interesting. He told me that he saw for years, he is looking at it, that a family that starts working to try to start living better, suddenly they get Yeshua from nowhere. This family, the man that was working three jobs and he didn't earn anything, suddenly he gets a Gavaldik job. Here a family helps. Here, that we just need to. So this is the nimshal. It's also an avodas Hashem. This is just in money. So that if they decide that they wanna change the way of life and start living really not with banks and credit cards, and so suddenly you see from Shebach who sends a Yeshua from a place that you can't even imagine before. But the same thing we have to learn from it. The Rebbe says that everything you see, you have to learn out of it. So I thought it's also an avodas Hashem. Someone he's in a golus. What golus? Someone that has this taiva, the other taiva. This thing bothers him very much, and he sits and he thinks to himself that I have no craft to change it. This thing is harder than me, stronger than me. It's not bichlal up to me. I can't do anything with it. Shebach who says, you start, you try, you do whatever you can, and suddenly from out of nowhere, I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you koyach. I'm going to take it away. I'm going to move it. It's not bichlal our thing, how it's going to happen. Again, this is the thing of Chanukah. We are going in the dark. It's hard. But the ikar, the thing that is the hardest, is because we feel that we are trying to manage alone, on our own. A lot of people feel, most of us, that in their golus, they are alone. No one can understand me. No one knows what I'm going through. No one knows how hard it is. No one can appreciate what I'm trying to do. Shebach says, in his own ways, he has a lot of ways to say it. And he says, don't worry. Itcha imcha ve'etzlecha. He lights his light. Sometimes it's a very, very small light. Like Chanukah light is tiny lights. There's no halacha to do the candles very big. Tiny lights. But these lights, they give us such big lights. And the halacha says to put the menorah, the Pesach Beisam in Bachutz. Why? Because this is the thing that says, this is your house, this is your place. And a Pesach Habayis, it means someone that he wants to come to his house. That the Rebbe says, Har Sodeh Bayis in the Torah, that someone wants to reach his house. My house means my place, my territory, the thing that there you work, and the things that I want, the things that are important to me. So I want to come to my house, but how can I come to my house? I don't know the way. The way is very hard. Like we see in the Tzipor Maisias, that he wants to come to the house of the man in the forest. How do you come to the house? The way is full of snakes and scorpions. So you put the ner, you put the light next to the door, outside. And the light, it shows you the path, how to come to the house. Then, B'shas Sakona, so you can put it also in the house, not but also it, the ner is the thing of the house. It shows you where's your house, where's the house that you want. Also, so you support Maises in the beginning. We see that in the Maises of the Chacham Etam. So, if you remember, it says that they lost the whole Yerusha, just they had the houses. The house means everything in our days. It means the family, the children, the hemshech. Is like the life of the people. It takes place in the house. So it says, you want to light your house, you want to have the light of the tzaddik, the light of Hashem, the light that is going to show you that it's not so bad. I'm here to help you. Put the light, even tiny lights, next to your door, outside, and send the light. And mitzvah Hashem, you're going to be zoife, Bashwas Hashchina, and to be zoife, each and every one of us, to be nigel from our golos, my golos, your golos,
Amen.
everyone. Mitzvah Hashem.
Amen.
Shkoyach.
It's good, it's good.
Oh.